the Arabian Racing Podcast with Debbie Bird.
Hi, and welcome to another special edition of the Arabian Racing Podcast. We're out and about again in this edition, and we're going to be looking at some of the horses which will be going towards our biggest race of the season, or at least the most valuable race of the season, the Group 1 Qatar International Stakes, run as part of the Qatar Goodwood Festival. We're going to start off by our trip to Newmarket, where I visited Mohammed bin Hamad Khalifa Al Attiyah and AJS Saik. Right, so Mohammed, we're now here with your other Arabian, ARH, and he's on course now to appear at Goodwood in the Qatar International Stakes. Can you just tell me a little bit about, obviously, his form this year, winning in Doha, and how you're feeling about his chances next week?
Yeah, he's won his Group 1 in February in His Highness the Emir Sword Festival, and after he won that race, Goodwood was always the plan. His prep run was, didn't go. It didn't really, the race didn't suit him, didn't go very well for him. But he showed that he's in good form, and hopefully fitness-wise he has improved, and we're hoping that he runs well in Goodwood.
And again, Stefan flying over him. You've said that Stefan's really excited to be riding him at Goodwood.
Yeah, of course. It's one of the biggest meetings in the UK. One of the biggest meetings in the UK, and it's probably also one of the best Arabian races around the world. Or most of the best Arabians will be participating. So I think it's an achievement to have a horse participating. So we're happy that we're here anyway, but we're still hoping, that he can run to a good level.
So going to move across the yard to Phil Collington. Obviously, Clea Lathba will be stepping up to a Group 1 for the first time in this race. Clearly, she's shown that she doesn't get a mile and a quarter, which obviously is the majority of the top class races in Arabians for Europe, and certainly more of the ones in the Middle East as well. So the fact that she's got a good turn of foot is going to stand her in good stead for this race. We'll hear a little bit from Phil about her chances once she's come in and we're back in the yard. And you're here with the Cleo. We just saw her do a little light canter this morning in preparation for Goodwood. Can you tell me how you're feeling about the race next week?
Obviously looking forward to running in the race. Very, very strong field, it looks like it will be. The best from France and Qatar. We know obviously AJS Saik that we've just run against in the Chester race. I think he'll be better again, back up to a mile. We're very pleased with the Khalil though. I think she came out of the Chester race well, and I think she couldn't be better really. I think Goodwood won't be any issue to her, the nature of the track, so if anything it might just bring out a little bit more from her again, because I think Chester really did bring out a little bit extra from her. She's the type of filly that possibly tracks like Newbury and Doncaster, they're too ordinary for her, so somewhere like Goodwood might just bring a bit more out of her as well.
And any thoughts on do we know who'll be riding her yet?
Sam Hitchcock keeps the ride, so it's great to have Sam.
Okay, I'm here now. Obviously we're back talking to Phil and Mohammed, and you've both got runners in the Qatar International Stakes at Goodwood next week. Both horses with chances, and of course both horses ran against each other at Chester. If I can start with either of you really, how do you think the rest of the runners are going to pan out for this race? Because obviously we're expecting maybe about 6 from France, I think, and some of them you're obviously very familiar with, and others are young horses on the up like Al Ghadir. I'll start with you, Phil.
As we expect, Moshrif, Al Ghadir, the likes of those two, which have already got really extreme top level form. So the younger horses, it will. I suppose trainers that are bringing, we'll see with the declarations, trainers that declare some of those younger horses, they obviously feel that they are capable and they're showing enough to step up and into this grade.
And Mohammed, obviously this is your second UK runner that you've trained. Well, you obviously started off with him at Chester, and then of course you had a winner last week with AJS Latham. What are your thoughts on the other runners in the race?
Well, I think it's more like an open race this year. Like a couple of horses have a chance. Al Ghadir, obviously Mashraf, and some others as well. So it will be a good edition of this race, I think.
And we talked about your horse earlier. Certainly, he's a horse who likes quick ground. But would the ground be of concern for you?
I think he's never run on soft ground. We never know. But ideally, we don't want any rain. So let's hope we get plenty of sun.
Yeah, I think for a Cleel, I wouldn't be worried anything up to good soft. Softer than that, it's hard to know whether she would handle it or not. But if it's on the soft side of good, I think she'd still be okay.
And obviously, we've got some really nice horses running the race. First Class came last year, Samler came last year. Hopefully, they'll all be showing up again. Would there be any that you'd probably be looking to follow in the race, or what would you think?
I think obviously a Cleel's normally weighted with, but in a race like this, I think she's just got to be wherever she's settled really. See if she lands in the middle, or even if she was further forward. I think there's many horses that you could see as a lead into the race, or that you might want to follow. But I think just wherever she settles in.
And Mohammed, we were talking earlier about the problems with having a lot of French runners and there might not being a pacemaker in the race. Your horse likes pace. Would you be happy if your horse went on?
I think he doesn't need to be anywhere specific, so there won't be any plan with him really. Stefan Mazur will be riding him, and he'll see where he is during the race and just ride his race and enjoy it.
Absolutely, and you're certainly enjoying your time over here, and it was always the plan to come to Goodwood with this horse.
Yes, since February, since he won the Group 1 in Doha, the plan was always to come to Goodwood, and yeah, that's always been the plan.
And the same for you really, Phil, because now that you know that Cleo doesn't stay, that your options are quite limited.
Yes, that's it. If anything, we learned last year, didn't we, up to the Saudi Cup, that we must concentrate on that speed that she has in up to a mile. And other than if she runs in a lower grade over a mile, she's never going to be able to compete, I don't think, at group level unless it's up to a mile.
And this is actually the perfect trip for both your horses, isn't it, really?
It is, yeah.
Yes, I think we're both. I mean, obviously, AJ Syk, with the Group 1 win in the Qatar International, and the time he ran was a fantastic run, and it would obviously, I'm hoping a Cleo runs a big race, but I hope that AJ Syk runs a really big race as well.
Super. Well, thanks very much, guys, and we'll see you next week at Goodwood. And it's so interesting to hear both of them speaking, and it's been really great to have Mohammed here this summer, and I really do hope he comes back next year with more horses. Earlier in the year, when I went to France to the Prix de Diane meeting, which of course had the French Arabian Derby within, which Al Ghadir won, which of course he'll be showing up, we hope, on Wednesday. I was able to visit the yard of Jean Demure, and he invited me to watch First Class have a racecourse gallop at Crayon. Unfortunately, you'll see that I don't have any video of him galloping, but it is a composite of the still photographs that I took there. And we'll hear what Jean had to tell me in his most recent WhatsApp message to me about the horse's chances on Wednesday.
Well, it's a comeback after a few months without races for First Class. But the horse is ready. He has been twice on the grass, on the racetrack. The horse is in very good shape. I'm very happy with his work. hopefully we'll have a strong pace in the race. Hopefully the ground won't be too juicy, because I saw that the rain is coming next week in Goodwood. So hopefully the ground is not gonna be like we saw a few years ago, with Taif and Ebras, when the ground was completely destroyed with water. But well, now the horse is in perfect form. Down the hill, up the hill. Hopefully he has learned, from last year, and hopefully we'll manage well the track, and we'll travel nicely, and he'll be able to perform. The level of the race is amazing. Moshrif, Al Ghadir, it's gonna be very interesting to see Al Ghadir at this level against the old men. And woman, because Saab also is part of the game. Sahab, Jabala, Moshrif, Al Ghadir. Well, it's gonna be a beautiful Qatar International Stakes edition. So, yeah, hopefully we'll be able to perform and to be the closest to the lead. Or, if we can take the first step of the Triple Crown, I'm in, 100% in. But no, all good for us, all good for us. Good luck to everybody, by the way.
Also, one of the exciting things with this race is the quality of jockeys that we have riding. Obviously, we would expect to see Jim Crowley riding in the Al Khawari colours, and Maxime Guillaume riding for Sheikh Kareem, as obviously he's a retained jockey there. Good to see Ronan Thomas back on first class. He certainly rode him to all three of his $1 million wins. So clearly he gets on very well with the horse. Stefan, as we know, is the regular jockey for AJS Psych. And Sam Hitchcock, we know, takes a ride on a Clear Lathba. But we've also got William Buick riding Jabala. And of course, Christophe Soumillon is back on board Al Ghadir. He again rode Al Ghadir to all his Group 1 wins. So clearly that's a partnership that works. We've also got Oisin Murphy back riding Arabians. Obviously, he won this race a couple of years ago with Lady Princess. So it's a very top quality race. And although it's a shame that we don't have any UK owned runners this year, this is certainly a race that's going to attract the attention of the wider racing public, and hopefully that might encourage more people to take an interest in Arabian racing and maybe even get involved. I, for one, certainly am going to enjoy my time at Goodwood to watch this race, and I really can't wait to see this go. It's such a quality field, and I'm so excited for the sport in the UK to have these quality horses. And like I say, hopefully this will encourage new people to get involved in the sport. Looking forward to seeing it, obviously, and we'll be back again to review this in a couple of weeks' time. Goodbye.